Okay, welcome back. This is the latest developer video for Production Line, the PC strategy game about building a car factory. I am the designer and programmer Cliff Harris. I thought I'd start the video slightly differently this time and sort of talk about how the game kind of came about, which I haven't really talked about on these videos, and it's sort of interesting. I read a book that was on a reading list of books I was reading by Henry Ford, about Henry Ford's life, and this is the guy that started the Ford Motor Company and who is famous for the Ford Model T, and this is widely known as the first mass production production line made product. Although it isn't actually, slaughterhouses were using production lines, and actually some other car manufacturers in a much smaller way did use. But anyway, he is famously thought of as the sort of father of production lines. And I thought the book was really good, but it's I have very specific tastes in books, so I'm not necessarily saying everyone should read it. But it's very interesting, and I thought, oh wow, there's a game in that. You know, there's a brilliant game in that to do with optimizing stuff. So I started working on this game, and originally it was a side-scrolling game, like a platform view, which sounds ridiculous, and it sort of was, because I thought that a car production line is very much a sort of linear process, so it would work as a side-scroller, but it didn't really. I don't have any screenshots of that, which is annoying. So I then swapped it to being a top-down thing, and I worked on that for a little while, but the only problem with that, because I really like the top-down strategy and sort of tycoon game aesthetic, the only problem I had with that was cars don't look very good from the top. They really don't. They look good in a sort of, three-quarter view, in a isometric view, basically. So I knew I was going to do isometric or 3D. I don't like 3D. I don't like it as a coder, and I don't like it as a designer either, because I feel that with a strategy game, simulation game, as opposed to a shooter, with 3D you spend half your life kind of fighting against the camera, and a lot of work has to go into a 3D game because it's 3D. That is kind of a pain. You have to worry about skinning and animation, rigging, and all this kind of nonsense, and I much prefer the kind of classic look of isometric. So we started making an isometric game about a car factory, and at that point it was about the sort of Ford Model T, not that specific car obviously, but like cars in that era. At one point the game was going to be entirely in black and white, with like a film grain effect, and it was basically going to be all about optimizing the production of the car with absolutely no upgrading of technology. So the car would always be, as the Model T was, pretty much the same, effectively the same, technologically the same, but it would all be about process. So we worked on that for quite a while, and spoke to a load of people about it. I got quite into it. I bought loads of books on the Model T. I have a Model T component price list someone got me from eBay somewhere. I went to the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit, and also went on a tour of a car factory there, and eventually I came to the conclusion that it would be better to set it in the modern day. So there was a brief sort of thinking, should it go through time from early times to now, and decided not to do that, because for what it adds, which is a little bit, it creates an enormous amount of extra art, sound and everything, and it's kind of not an effective way to do that. So I decided not to do that. At one point all the staff in the game were cats, which I thought would be really cool. Maybe it's just my sense of humour, it's not even just a British thing, but I thought, if all the people working in the game are cats, but it's just never mentioned, not in press releases or descriptions of the game or anything, it would just amuse me to see forum threads with people saying, so why is it cats? Anyway, I was talked out of that, so they're people. So that's how we sort of got where we are, really. So let's take a look at what's changed. Blah, 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 blah. Windscreen is my latest one, isn't it? I think so. Quite a few sort of visual things have changed, and some sound effects are now in there, which I've turned off for this video because it gets a bit of a nightmare of sound balance if you leave sort of sound effects in there. Or I think I've turned them off. I haven't, known me. Anyway, so what's new? The sound effects make quite a big difference, actually. I'm not sure if... maybe you can hear that. I don't know. Not very organised. We've got fans that spin. Ooh, look at this. How cool is this? This was an experiment, really. Because as you know, if you play the game, there's not a lot of animation. There's some bits, like people animate. Oh, what about that later? So, like, you have, research people stroking beards and stuff. But objects don't animate that much, mostly because of, like, texture requirements. I should do a talk at one point about how we do this, because these are all running my own kind of, like, compressed texture animation code to make it really small. I really like it. This was a test to think, does it add anything to the game? And I think, yeah, it does. I really like that. So I've got some other animation stuff I'm going to experiment with later today, hopefully. So that went in. What else went in? Let me look at my list of stuff. We fixed loads of things. One of the things we fixed is it used to be the case that if you were playing a game and then you quit to the menu and you reloaded the same game and then you zoomed in and out, some of the cars would disappear. They'd be fine there, and when you zoomed out to about there, they'd disappear. About there. That's fixed now. Someone helped me work out what that was. And that's been in there forever, so I'm really pleased that we got that fixed. We had some changes here, actually. I need to set some research. Let's research this. I've moved research queue here and moved that there. One of the reasons I've done this is I wanted to do some extra things. So if I add that to the queue, roof manufacturer, then you get an entry here. You now get a tooltip saying what it does and if it requires anything else. I think I need to change the colouring there. If I now add another thing, like this, I can add this, add to queue. It's now red, meaning we can't research that yet. But if it's just dependent on that, then when that's done, it will be fine. So I fixed a bug here. So if you get to the situation where this is top of the queue and it can't be done, it doesn't get stuck or anything. It's just left in the queue for when it can be done. Because there was a bug where you could end up with research that just done, stuff like that. So that's a bit better now. What else have I changed? Oh god, yeah, 2 exciting things. So when you get a new research that pops up, it will say to you something like, okay, this research is done. Do you want to upgrade all of the slots? And you can say yes, or you can just not bother and just upgrade one manually. If you then change your mind, you're kind of screwed. So if I go here, like what would this be? Fit wing mirrors. Have we got any upgrades here? We have, but I want one that isn't robots. Oh, I'm not going to have one of it. What was that thing that just got researched? It was steering, wasn't it? If I can find it. I think it was steering column. What is this? Fit wheels. Oh, no wonder I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh! We go columns. No, so it was fit steering wheel. Yeah, so powered steering wheel adjustment. So I can click here, which is buy, which is 2,900, which is what I'd normally do. But now you have this buy all option. So that's basically if you've got a massive factory and you've got like 20 fit steering wheel slots, I could now go buy all, and it will say there's 4 of them. It's 11,600. Sure you want to do it, and I can go yes, and that will do all of them. Ta-da! People really wanted that. If you're thinking, who cares? People really wanted that. One of the other things, which is not easy for me to show you here because... actually, I can quit out. Let's quit out. Load bankruptcy. So, I'm about to go bankrupt with any luck, which used to be the end of the game. Oh, I think that sound effect triggered, didn't it? I heard that through the headphone. Jesus. Anyway, so as before, you get this chart of, oh, it's all gone wrong. But you also have a crisis loan, which you can accept and carry on if you want to. That crisis loan will only be there if you have a loan you haven't taken. So if you've taken all the loans, then your credit's no good and you really go bankrupt. But you can accept that loan and carry on. And now, if it happens again, I'm screwed. So that's the thing that people really wanted, and that's gone in. So that's awesome. We have done a few changes to the balance of the game as well, and the way sort of AI works. We're doing that like all the time to try and make the game as sort of well balanced as possible, and to continue to have it. I'm going to go bankrupt again, aren't I? Go, yes, see? Excellent. So I'm now screwed. Is there anything else? Yeah, we had there's a crash if you drag a conveyor belt off of the map. That's fixed. It'll be in the next build. Blah 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 blah. So what you're looking at here is not the version that is currently out, but the next version that will be out in the coming week. I think that's probably it. So let's briefly talk about what's coming up. So there are three things coming up. There are three things coming up soon. I want to try and experiment with some animations of machinery, which hopefully should go in tomorrow. I don't know. Also coming up is the pickup truck, which we're still working on the artwork for, but that'll be coming in soon. After then, it's going to be hybrid and electric engines, which is going to be like a big change. Something I've decided to do is I'm going to change the price. I'm going to put the price up. You just try and stop me. I'm going to put the price up to $17.99. It's currently $15.99. That's the upgrade all slots thing, which we could have done there instead. We would still need to do. So yeah, we're going to put the price up probably towards the end of the week. So you know you're going to get it. It doesn't make any sense to wait. You might as well get it now. You can buy it direct from us, or through GOG, or on Steam in early access. It's currently $15.99. Thank you to everyone who's been reviewing the game. It's really, really helpful when you review the game. There is a natural bias amongst everyone that if you buy something and you think it's great, you just use it or watch it or play it or whatever, and if it annoys you, you leave a review saying this is rubbish because. So there is a kind of bias in there. Only about 1% of people leave reviews, so reviews are very inaccurate in terms of helping people judge whether or not it's a good game. If you're enjoying the game, I urge you to leave us a review on whatever site it is that you bought it from, or better still, tweet about it, tell your friends what you think of the game. I really hope I don't have to re-record this whole thing because I got the sound balance wrong. Anyway, this is Production Line by Positech Games. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll do another video next week. Thank you for watching.